Hi, I'm Morgan.
I'm Harrison.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Woo!
Well, it's Thanksgiving at least when you're watching this, not actually today. But more importantly, happy Black Friday, because Christmas is so soon. Don't worry, because we have the gifts for you. I know you're itching to know what to buy us for Christmas, so we have this whole list for you. Just kidding, unless you want to buy something. But this is a list of what we think is the most helpful and useful things for travelers that we have come up with after 2 years. Things we've used the most and found the best for us.
So for all of these gifts, we split it into 2 separate categories. First category is for your everyday traveler, someone who's just looking to go maybe on just a vacation, not really looking to make vlogs like we do. And the second category is for people specifically like us who are making vlogs, who are digital nomads, who are looking to get gorgeous shots of places and things like that.
Most of the stuff on this list we have actually tried ourselves, and that's why we can recommend it. There are some things that are on a lot of other popular travel Christmas lists that we have never tried and are skeptical about, so we're not even going to include them. And the good thing also, this is a budget travel channel. If you are new here, travel the world even though we're clearly broke. So, staying in that same vein, none of this stuff is too expensive. Now, you could get really expensive with gifts. If you are very generous and you want to, you could buy cameras, drones, laptops, whatever. You could go ham, but most of this stuff is pretty affordable.
And a lot more realistic, I would think.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so this list is in no particular order, but number 1 is portable chargers. These are lifesavers. Like, I don't know what we would have done so many times because iPhones lose charge so quickly, especially if you're using Google Maps, which we use all the time when traveling. So we need
Absolutely.
these.
And not even just using Google Maps, but I also use my phone as Apple Pay. And I do bring my card with me all the time, but it's just so much easier to use Apple Pay everywhere. And my phone needs to be alive for that. This made that possible.
And the ones we use are called Anchor. We have 2 of them. I'm sure there's others. This is what we use. We've used them for 2 years. They've stayed perfect the whole time. They charge for a long time. They charge quickly. So I would recommend an Anchor portable charger for your phone. So number 2 is something that we don't have, but we wish that we would have, which is a filtered water bottle. We were staying in places where the tap water was drinkable, although that's questionable because we went to a place where it kind of made us sick. So that could all be avoided if you have some sort of filtration system. Also, we spent a lot of money on getting water all the time, which is a waste. So that is a really essential thing that we wish we had.
Number 3 is a foldable small laundry bag. So we had 2 of these. So this one my cousin Rebecca gave to me, which I love. It's a little strawberry and it crunches down and then it opens up into this awesome bag. Doesn't need to just be for laundry. If you're going like shopping or something, going to the grocery store and you need a little bag, this was perfect. We use this quite often. And then we also have this bigger one, and this one we use for our laundry because we do have a lot of laundry. Pretty self-explanatory. It's always good to have reusable bags, and especially in Europe, they will charge you for plastic bags, unlike in the US so far. And it's so cute. Look at that little strawberry.
It's very cute. And as far as I can understand, it was really cheap. So, good gift. Good stocking stuffer, actually. Speaking in the realm of bags, you can get a great backpack that is going to come in very handy. So, not talking about like a backpacking backpack, like a big one, like you use kind
Like
of
a
in a place
camping
with a
bag.
suitcase. Something like this, for example, you can actually fold it up, like not fold it up, but you can scrunch it into your
flattens
suitcase.
pretty thin.
Yeah.
This one in particular was great. Morgan's brother Austin got this for us, and it has all these little pockets inside, and the best part is that it's waterproof. So you could spill water all on the outside of this and it won't go through. So this was kind of like our electronic bag.
Yes.
And it's also thief resistant, I should say. It folds over the zippers, and when you wear it, it pulls on it. So like in order for them to get in, they have to like grab your side to get in there. So this was great security for all of our super expensive electronic stuff. And if you're not looking for high security, this one was a great find. We found this, where was it?
Lund, Sweden.
Yep, we found this in Sweden, and it was at a thrift shop, believe it or not, for $5. But it is huge. Like, we could fit so much stuff in this, and it is carry-on size, too. So, you can see how big this bag opens up here, and I didn't even realize this was still in here. It's so big. So, a big, like, canvas bag like this, I would highly, highly recommend.
One of the 2. I would, as for anything, though, make sure you talk to the people you're going for or know kind of in the realm of what they're wanting.
That rule applies to everything on this list. Like, there are definitely things that have been gotten for us where we're like, we like it, but I don't think we're gonna have a use for it.
Yeah.
Or we already have something that we already have planned or something. Don't be afraid to talk to people for gifts, especially if it's going to be something that they want to use and something that's very practical for them.
Especially for travelers, because there's only so much space.
So the next thing that would be a good gift is a grounded adapter for whichever country you're going into. Now this is not a grounded adapter. This is a 2-prong adapter, which means that you can charge things like cell phones, portable chargers, basically any appliance that has 2 prongs on it. This is a grounded one. So this has the 3 prongs that go in here, and you can charge computers and stuff like that through this. Now, in the first trip we went through, I didn't have a grounded one, and I didn't realize that was a thing, and my computers were like fuzzy. Like to the touch, like you could feel the electricity going through them because they weren't grounded. So especially if you're bringing appliances like that,
especially if you don't want to blow a fuse, because that happened to us.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with grounded, in my opinion. Like if it's grounded, it's safe. And this wasn't too much either. This was only $4 for one of these, I believe, when I bought it. So it's a great little gift, and it will be very, very, very useful.
Next thing is headphones. This is pretty self-explanatory. I don't have any fancy ones I'm going to recommend. I use headphones all the time. Harrison less so, but I'm always listening to music, and my headphones always break or get lost, and it's a hassle to buy new ones. So if you get some, especially if they're really good quality, I'm sure they'll come in very handy. That way the person doesn't have to keep buying them, and sometimes there's none around. So the next thing we're going to recommend is good, solid water shoes. Where are yours, actually?
Right here.
God, I didn't know you were wearing them.
So these are super comfy, and they're super light too.
They weighed like nothing.
Yeah, and I forget I'm wearing them sometimes. They're so light. We did go for a hike on these in our area. Right now, it's Thanksgiving in New England, so it's very cold. I do not recommend these for the cold, but I do recommend these if you're going summer hiking, extreme hiking, or going through water a lot. That's what these are meant for. They're slip-resistant rubber soles. The water will go right through them, and they are meant to be in water.
We go through water shoes like nothing. Like last 2 years, we've had crappy water shoes. They completely get destroyed like so easily after just a few uses, and it's such a waste of money and resources.
Absolutely.
So we're lucky enough that a leader sent these to us. No, we're not sponsored. We're not getting any money. We just got some free shoes. But if you want to get some awesome water shoes for any travelers in your life and for yourself, we do have a code for you. It's Morgan15, and it'll give you 15% off. We don't even get a cut of that, so like completely honest, transparent review here. We're not getting any money, just shoes. So, and even if you buy with the code, we're not getting cut of that. So, being honest with you, we're not the level to get a true sponsorship. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But we're stoked to get some free shoes.
We got some nice, really decent shoes out of it. And so
which we are going to use.
Right, and that website you can find in the link below.
They're a lot better quality than any other water shoes I've ever used. So, okay, that's the next one. On to the next. Next thing I can recommend is a little toiletries bag. Actually, Harrison's mom got this for us, so thank you, Danielle.
Thanks, Mom.
We definitely use this. We found this extremely handy. It's got like a loofah, it's got scissors, a brush, it's got mouthwash, toothpaste, literally so much stuff in here, eraser, like so much. Like we already used a lot of it, and I'm not going to go through everything in this bag, but it was really, really helpful because it had everything we could need in this tiny little bag. Especially if someone who's traveling is going to go into a hostel, having one bag to take is very easy and all encompassing.
Stress-free, for sure.
So I'd recommend a little toiletries bag.
The next is a VPN subscription. We are not sponsored by any company or any corporation for this.
Yet, so we're not going to mention any names because you're not getting anything from us unless you pay us.
Yeah. But
all the rest of the VPN
But we do
sponsors.
highly recommend a VPN, especially if you're going to countries where there are a lot of things that are banned. Like there are certain countries where YouTube is banned. So if we wanted to keep uploading to YouTube, we would have to get a VPN so that we can get around that ban. If we wanted to watch certain Netflix shows that aren't available in the country that we're in, getting a VPN can get you around that. VPN seems more and more invaluable than the more I hear about it.
Next thing that's a great gift for travelers is an Airbnb gift card. Not everyone uses Airbnb, but most travelers, I would say, use Airbnb. Or
especially nowadays. It's way cheaper than a hotel, and it's not as risky, I would say, as a hostel.
In Airbnb, you get a kitchen, not always, but a lot of times you're getting access to a kitchen and a bigger space, and we absolutely love Airbnb. Whenever we're not staying at a house sit, we are at an Airbnb. That is an easy way you can give a little or a lot for a traveler, and that will help them travel. Yeah, my dad actually gave it to us last Christmas, so thanks, Dad.
Next thing I highly recommend is a power strip. You need to make sure that it is formatted to work with both European and US electrical currencies, but it is so helpful because all you need is one of these grounded things. You plug it in right there. If I can do this, there we go. And then you plug this into the wall, and then here you go. You got all these outlets, and you only had to buy one of these grounded things for it. This was super helpful in a lot of situations where we were in an Airbnb and we only had like 1 or 2 plugs, and we have 2 computers, my drone camera, my
2
actual
phones.
camera, 2 phones, portable chargers to charge. It just wasn't enough outlets, but this solved the situation so many times for us, and it's something I highly recommend, especially if you're going to be doing long-term travel.
And this is a bigger one. You can get mini ones too that fold even smaller. This is just one from our house. Next thing is a contoured eye mask and earplug. So eye mask just to sleep, but a contoured one would be perfect. We don't have one like that, but it kind of goes around your nose so that it actually keeps the light out, because regular eye masks, there's a space there and you can still get light through. I'm a very light sleeper, so those are very important. And earplugs are so helpful, especially if you're going to be in hostels or places with other people. Earplugs are a must. I just get cheap little earplugs you can get anywhere. Those work the best for me. So eye mask and earplugs are an easy gift that I think go a really long way.
So the next thing I highly recommend are these money belts. These money belts came in handy so many times, and they're quite comfortable too. I'm not really the person to wear a fanny pack. I don't think they're very fashionable.
They're actually in fashion now.
That's questionable.
No,
It's questionable. So what I would do with these is
The
I
Fashion King or something?
yes, exactly. I would wear it like this under my shirt, and it was hidden, not really noticeable. And there was actually a couple times where I was wearing this to the airport, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta take off everything." And then I took one off, and the TSA agent actually looked at me. He was like, "I didn't even know that was on you." And I was like, "Yeah, that's right. You didn't know. I didn't want anyone to know that my money's here." So this comes in great hand when you're trying to avoid getting robbed. I honestly think it was a great gift. I think your mom got these for us.
Yeah,
didn't
she did. And I think some people think they're kind of lame, and I can see that, but is it more lame to be robbed? Like, so the next thing I'm going to recommend is a waterproof dry bag. I don't have one, but I was reading this thing about this girl who literally got shipwrecked in Indonesia, and she had a waterproof dry bag by Earthpack, and she had like her phone and a few things in there, and those survived, and the rest of her stuff was waterlogged. That was like, whoa, we could really use that, because we do have some sort of a waterproof covering thing that we would put on top of our suitcases and bags sometimes if it was raining, but we don't have like a waterproof bag like that can fold up small. You can use in an emergency.
And can go underwater.
Yeah.
And once it goes underwater, it's highly water resistant. It's not waterproof.
Yes, so we don't have this. We haven't personally used it, but after looking into it, it seems like a really practical thing, especially if you're going on travel vacation, if you're going on boats a lot. That is a really good thing to have in case of emergency.
Something that we could have used in a lot of situations was portable Wi-Fi. So what do we mean by that? So it's basically a chip that you put into a device, and it's portable Wi-Fi. You use it, you tether your phone to it as if it's Wi-Fi, and it uses great speeds from data, and it's something where you just pay one fee and then it's like a monthly fee after that. It would have been a great service for us, especially in certain house sits where we went and the Wi-Fi was it was just non-existent. We wouldn't have had to go to the train station and try to upload our videos and photos from the train station. We could have just stayed at home and figured it out from there. So the next one is seasonal clothing, and by that I mean Under Armour and or a puffy jacket or something that'll be really thin but keep people really warm in whatever conditions they're in.
Any type of small foldable winter gear for that would be fantastic. We had these puffer jackets for a long time that keep your heat in. You can put them underneath your bigger jacket. Yeah, Under Armour is a great gift for that. And foldable jackets. Yeah, on to the next.
So something that would have been very invaluable for me is a wrinkle-free button-up shirt. So I brought a bunch of button-up shirts, but I'm packing them in a suitcase, and so they get wrinkled very easily. And then whenever I wanted to wear a shirt out, and the place that we were staying at didn't have an iron, I had to wear a wrinkly shirt, and I felt a little ridiculous. But they do have wrinkle-free or wrinkle-resistant button-up shirts that I didn't know were a thing until I heard about them recently, and that would have been an awesome thing to bring with me. I would have honestly replaced all of my button-ups with that, and I wouldn't have had to worry about looking like a damn fool.
So another thing is if you happen to have extra Sky Miles or hotel points and you don't plan on using them, especially if like it's the end of the year coming up and you know you're not going to go on a trip, that could be a great gift just to transfer those miles or those points to travelers who will use them. Okay, so the last thing for the general traveler list is to get an experience with the traveler you're buying for. So a concert, a new restaurant, something in the area you've never explored before, because I think most travelers are more about experiences than physical things. At least a lot of travelers have that mentality. So as great as the things we listed are, as helpful as they are, and they're great presents and everything, if you don't want to buy that or you want something different or whatever, just spending time with them, doing something different will be a really great gift because they're travelers. They want experiences.
Priceless.
And they probably miss you, especially if they've been gone most of the time like us. We really missed our family. So, you know, if you get them something to spend time with them, I'm sure that they'll appreciate the excuse to hang out with you because they miss you and you get to do something different, which is what they love to do. So that can be another great gift. You don't always have to get something physical like that. And you don't even have to spend money, even if you're like, hey, I planned a day for us, we're going to go to this hike that you've never been on, or whatever, like, or thrift shopping, or like window shopping, whatever, something new, different with them. I'm sure they would appreciate that. Now that we've gotten all sentimental, let's get back to consumerism. Good old Christmas consumerism. So we're going to talk about stuff that pretty much only applies to videographers, photographers, digital nomads. Oh, we forgot one more thing, first aid kit. Okay, let's move on. So,
Wow.
do we need to explain that? It's so obvious. It's so helpful. First aid kit, we used it many times. Yes. Okay, now let's move on to the time is money, Harrison.
I guess so.
Digital nomad videography, photography gifts that are...
These are really cool to use too, that you don't need for travel. They're just pocket knives. That's it. Okay, I guess time is money. Let's go.
Knives, I forgot two things, yes. Okay, so pocket knives are also very helpful. Pocket knives and first aid kit.
This is a mess.
Oh, this is a mess. Should we edit this or should we just...
No, we don't have time.
Okay, there's no time. So we gotta keep going. Okay, so yeah, videography gifts. Number one thing is a Joby tripod, which we have right here. Harrison's mom, again, thank you so much. Got this for us. We used it so many times. It was a game changer for our videos. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, if you watched us our last trip to this one, if you're like an OG Morgan Please Stan, thank you.
We use this to take photos of ourselves multiple times, just stick it anywhere. This wraps around anything and it will stay there. So if I want to go like, oh, I want this to wrap around my arm for some reason, it's not going anywhere. And it's awesome, like sticks to metal really well. So if we're going to put it on a street sign or something, we want to film ourselves and we both want to be in the shot. Even for like making steadier shots too. So like I would put the camera on here and now I got two things to hold it on. I can push this part against my body and still see the screen. This was certainly invaluable for vlogging. It's small, it's easy to pack. I highly recommend it. So the next thing I highly recommend are these hard drives. So these are great for especially long term and especially if you're going to be taking tons of photos and tons of video. If you're going to bring SD cards, that's great. SD cards can only hold so much. So these hold a ton of information. This one holds 5 terabytes, which if you don't know, that's 5,000 gigabytes. And this one holds 4. Drone, 4K footage, and I'm recording at 100 megabytes.
Everything more
and so it's a lot more quality, and so it takes up a lot more information. They're a lifesaver. Like, we wouldn't have been able to film everything and keep all of our footage without these.
Probably every year we're going to need to buy another one or two. What brand is this?
Lacie. It's LACIE. And I do really highly recommend this brand. It's very popular in the videography world.
In the same vein as that, we also recommend a really good SD card.
Right. So these are the ones that I got. These are the Sony Tough cards. I got like the top of the line SD cards. You don't need to get top of the line if your camera doesn't need it. This is something where you would really need to talk to the person and be like, hey, what does your camera need? What kind of SD cards would be good for your camera before you just go out and buy them random SD cards.
Because this is videography, photography stuff, most of this stuff is a little more expensive than the general traveler stuff. This type of stuff, you can never go wrong. Videographers, photographers are always going to need SD cards, always going to need hard drives. You really can't go wrong with a gift like that.
So if your traveler is planning on doing a lot of adventurous stuff and a lot of underwater stuff, I highly recommend a GoPro. Not this one. This one's very, very old. This is the Hero 3 Plus. Okay, this is an
So
8-year-old
old.
camera, and so the newer ones I highly recommend. There are also other accessories you can get with the GoPro. Like they have some where you can put it in a casing that has a little floaty on it. So if they drop it in water, it'll float to the top, and they won't have to worry about losing
that's
it.
cool.
They have things like attachments. So they have like a chest brace you could put it on, or like
Or
a
a
head
helmet.
brace, and there's a bunch of little accessories that can come with the GoPro. Just make sure you're getting it for the correct GoPro.
Ooh, and if they're doing a road trip, you can get a mount for like their car.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
exactly. So the next thing that I would recommend, and again, this depends on the person, is a gimbal. For a camera like this one, where there's barely any stabilization on it, a gimbal would make our shots seem so much prettier.
And if you don't know what a gimbal is, it's basically a stabilizer for your camera so that if it's shaky, it makes it not shaky.
Certain ones will work for cameras like this, certain ones work for cell phones, certain ones are big, certain ones are small. So again, this is something where you really need to talk to the traveler to be like, is this the kind you want?
And again, don't be afraid to do that. I know Christmas is a lot of surprises, but if you're going to get them a good quality camera gift, they're going to be stoked. Like, don't
Yeah.
worry about the surprise aspect.
Absolutely.
Like, they're going to love you forever for helping their passion or their job. Speaking of which, talking to the person about their gifts, Harrison's mom always does that. And so we're pretty excited. Actually, this lends nicely into our next thing on the list, which is microphones. Because, guys, I think this Christmas might be the time we finally get a real mic. If you don't know,
Yeah.
if you're not watching us all the time, we use this. This is our microphone. Do you see my phone recording? This is our microphone. So we don't have an external mic. We don't have a lav. We have nothing. And the last 2 years have been a disgrace. Can you believe that we might finally have mics? What? It's gonna be like an identity crisis.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, we're stepping up in life that far that we don't have to look ratchet holding our phone like some weird
Like
TV
news
reporters all the time. Yeah, anyway, the point of all that is talk to the people. It's fine because, case in point, we're very excited that we might be getting mics for Christmas. Unless she says not to, which is fine too. But anyway, there's lots of mics to get. And if you have a videographer, friend, or a person you're buying for and they need a mic, that is a fantastic gift. Again, it can be very expensive or it can be not, depending on what you want to buy.
Lavalier mics specifically are pretty cheap. Like if you wanted to get them a good lavalier mic, they're not hyper expensive. Like around $20 will get you 2 decent lavalier mics.
Which is like, why have we not had mics this whole time when they're so cheap? Yeah, so something else I wanted to add to this list is a laptop portable charger. So we talked about our Anker phone chargers, but I've seen that they actually have like Anker laptop chargers, which is crazy. And that'd be so awesome, especially on flights, because I don't know what kind of first class other people are on flights, but we don't have plugs.
Outlets
Yeah.
at all.
So our computers die, and it's like, oh, great, we have an 8-hour flight, we can do so much work. Just kidding, we can only work for an hour because our computers are going to die.
Yep.
So to have a laptop charger would be amazing, get so much more work done.
So the next thing we would recommend is a laptop cover case or a keyboard cover in
both.
case. Or both, right. Laptops are expensive and they're going to get dinged around. And just like you put a phone case on your phone, you should probably get a case for your laptops. Now, we do not have a case for our laptops, and there are a few little dings here from somebody throwing them under the
Yeah, from
bed.
somebody, all right.
Yeah, from someone, all right, yeah. But if it had a case, it wouldn't have those dings, and it's more of a cosmetic thing, but of course, it can also be a very serious hardware thing if you do drop your laptop.
Or someone
is a very
bumps into
scary
you,
thing, or-
backpacks are
right.
thin. Like, it's a great thing to protect your very expensive gear. So that's kind of it for the travel, videographer, photographer, digital nomad list. There's other things on the travel list that are like, you need to have this face mask when you're traveling on the plane, or like this thing and this thing and this thing. I think it can be easy to overload with things for travelers when it's like the bulk of their stuff is going to be clothes first off and shoes. So I think to get them 1 or 2 things that are very practical and personal to them is more important than a whole bunch of things that they might not even use or would
Right.
just bog them down. But basically, yeah, that's it. We've done a lot of talking here. We got a lot of guide stuff for you. It is Thanksgiving if you're in the US. If you're not, well, eat a lot and pretend you're American because it's fun to eat. And Black Friday is tomorrow, and then there's Cyber Monday and like Small Business Saturday, all that going up. So we're hoping that this is very helpful for you to help any travelers in your life. If you are interested on our channel, if our vlogs, if you haven't watched our vlogs yet for some reason, which is weird, you should watch them. We have a lot of awesome vlogs around the world. We are actually home in the US right now. We're going to enjoy Thanksgiving with their families, but we're not done the vlogging. Okay, guys, we are going to be posting every Thursday. If you're not already, please subscribe. We have a lot coming out for you, and if you're interested, we do have a Patreon where you get secret videos, postcards, all sorts of different stuff.
Absolutely.
Polls. We decide where we're going to go next year from our Patreon, so it'd be awesome if you could support small creators. Thank you for watching this video, and we're going to let you go.
If Patreon is not for you, we do also have a PayPal. If you want to just make that one donation and you don't want to worry about having to the monthly fees or anything like that, thinking about that, we do have that in the description below as well.
If you want to contribute to our filtered water bottle fund or whatever. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If not, happy pie. Just eat pie. Okay, whatever. Bye. See ya. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much everything.
That's not for the video. It's just talking out loud.
No. Nope. Nothing else I want to add. We can talk like robots now because we're not using this for the video.
Perfect.